Welcome to Legacy of the Ultras, a Take TV League. $7,500 on the line, of course, over the course of this tournament. And of course, say that a couple more times, get out of my system. We're finally ready to go with some live matches. It's Rifkin and Zombie are coming at you. Still pretty early in the morning, but that's alright. Always here for some good StarCraft. Top left corner of the map, we've got the blue Terran player, Top.
In the bottom right says the red Zerg. It's true.
Yeah, representing that Dead Pixels, partner of Fantasy, teammate of Fantasy that we were just gushing about moments ago when the game started. But True has always been, like, whether it's Legacy of the Void or Heart of the Swarm, this guy just plays the game really well. I can't wait to see him, because he was for a small time a little bit reluctant to go for new Legacy of the units. I'm sure by now, though, he must have seen the power of Lurkers. He must have seen a Parasitic Bomb or two. Hopefully he's picked up on the new things and can kind of just do more than the bare necessities of Zerg.
Yeah, hopefully. So apparently we're in like a couple of different rounds today too.
Yeah, this is like round 5, 8, and 9, I think. Or 7?
5, 7, 8, and 9.
There you go.
So there's only 3 more rounds to go for some people, I guess.
Well, it's going to be like the Acer Team Story Cup. You remember, like, Team Liquid ended up playing like 5 matches in a row because they were 5 weeks behind and stuff like that in the last week. So
yeah, but we're already 9 weeks in, is what I'm asking.
Right. Well, no. Yes, technically. What I was going to say, though, is, like, it doesn't really work out to be like, okay, you know, this is week 9, so all the players on week 9, right? Like, it's very important people understand that some of these matches are behind. Like, because someone's playing a round of 5 match now doesn't mean that they're not in the round of 9. It's just like that particular match may have been held up. The best way to keep track of this is check out the Wikipedia page, or even go to Take TV's website where they've got the overall standings. But while this one, for example, I don't know which one this is. Let's assume this is okay. This is the round 5 match. True, though, still has been playing very consistently, so this might be the only round 5 match he has to play, and every other match is up to round 9. We don't know the specifics, but players have been playing a hell of a lot of best of 5s over the last 2 months. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. I didn't mean to make it sound like anything else. I just meant that it doesn't seem like it's been that long for anyone. Like 9 weeks, really? That's how long it's been since they announced this league? It doesn't feel like it.
Well, unfortunately for us, we missed a lot of it. So
I know, but it's 9 weeks in general, not even in, like, you know, context of this league, but just in general since they've announced it. Like, does time fly faster when you're a StarCraft caster, or am I just going crazy?
Well, it rhymes, so it's probably true.
Oh, no, this is true.
Yes, so I zoomed in slightly.
Well, the Reaper dies after getting some good harassment done. Those grenades do mess up mining quite a bit. And back at home, it's a little bit greedy without a bunker. But that lane's almost out. What an odd wall off.
The one depot? Or do you mean up here?
Up here.
I mean, I guess it's still 2 depots and a factory, so I mean, the advantage is this does protect the reactor.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good, actually. You know, it makes a lot more sense than the other one where the reactor is the weak point, but you just never see anyone do it.
No, very true. It's kind of cool, I guess.
Sure. Well, looks to be a medevac drop. I'm surprised I don't see an armory. Just a good old... Oh, there it is. Timing. Nailed it.
That's okay. Sorry, I forgot we were playing games poorly earlier. Let's turn off the mouse scroll. That's going to get really annoying. There we go. Oh, beautiful. I feel like if you have mouse scroll enabled and you're trying to like observe the game properly, it feels like you're observing on ice because you're just like always slightly slipping like, off the camera. But we do have the load up coming across the map. The armory should time out pretty well with this. And True, what does True really have? I mean, the Spire's on the way, but that's a long way off. Can he buy enough time to get that out? There's no Banelings ready to go. It's barely Lings. There are 3 Queens. Yeah, but it looks like no Spine Crawler. Oh man, this is going to be tough. He's going to elevate up to the main. Ooh.
Well, this gets a little tricky. Like, elevating to the main is a good idea usually, but this is a Hellbat push. Like, the Queen's deal with the medevac perfectly fine, and then, yeah, you're supposed to do the Hellbat push if you got the Hellbats, you know, just right up in their face. He's gonna get a couple Overlords, not bad. I mean, he's not pushing in, though. I mean, does he figure it's not worth it? Does he figure I don't know. Okay, there he goes. Finally transform him.
Maybe he thinks the timing is a bit lost on him due to the plan to go up the cliff and completely shut down. Lings run right past that third. That would have been free pickings. Tries to go to the natural. Raise to the depots. Something we see a lot of good Terran players struggle with, quite frankly. But no SCVs repairing. This could be bad times.
Doesn't want to risk losing all the Lings because he's busy at home, distracted. But Top doesn't push in. He kind of threatens, he clears up some creep, and then he goes back home. I mean, that's not a bad idea. But since he is going mech, it also would not have been that much more of a dedication to actually trying to use those Hellbats. But hey, I guess he forced out the Lings, stopped the droning for a little while, and I guess that's all he wanted. But now he has to worry about mutas. And I do not see any other anti-air. There's the first Thor on the production tab.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're seeing this really, I'd say almost like black and white dynamic. Some players are saying Liberators are just the answer to mutas, and a lot are saying no, they're just still fucking trash. Like, I am curious to see when the final version of the game comes out where Liberators end up standing. But right now, there's a Baneling boss coming to this wall, and oh god, that's gonna get through. Now, this actually might not be so bad, as the SCVs are already pre-split. He's on 3 CCs. If he cleans up the Lings, the Banelings are still very limited on what they can do, and as we see, Top only takes 10 worker kills. So the mutas that are going to be problematic, I think. Third base under attack. Oh, that bunker had nothing inside of it. That sucks.
Yeah. So it got a little messy. If the Helens were in position for the first attack, that could have gone messy in the other way. Really messy and not so good for True. But luckily, they were a tiny bit of position. They get attacks in all 3 main bases. Oh,
no!
Well, much hurts for you.
That's actually a pretty big deal against someone who's got some mutas in play, but not dedicating too much to them. It's weird to see the Carapace come out, but then swap to Roaches.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Either way, I'll give it to Top. Like, that was a messy, but a good hold. I mean, 18 workers lost in total for how big of a Baneling bust that was. I thought that was going to be way worse. Yeah. Most of the issues lost, in fact, we're at the third. Not even the natural.
Right, yeah. But that's still, I mean, he's still down to 35, only just not coming back up, so it's still a big deal. The Roach follow-up is just going to be quite difficult to deal with. I mean, there's only going to be 2 Thors. They pack a punch, but, you know, they also have to be guarded. They'll go down fairly easily to 20 Roaches if you're not looking. If True, I decides to do that attack, I guess, too, because he's also getting a Hydrosin already, as well as an Infestation Pit. He's still got upgrades on the way. If he checks to see what the army looks like, he might try and attack with only Roaches, or he might decide to wait. We'll see. If he waits, it's going to take a lot of time for Top to get those SCVs back, to actually get his production up, which is not very strong right now. Only on 3 factories.
Oh, cute. Seeing a Reaper come back out at some point. Didn't realize it's production tab. Okay, so tanks, pretty damn good at dealing with Roaches and Hydras. It's when you add in Vipers, it's when you start getting Lurkers, when you get that something just a little bit extra that they become really hard to deal with. But right now, tanks should be able to do the job as long as he's ready ahead of time. You know, they're not exposed and in the wrong spot. Maybe get some Hellbats to guard them too. Why are all the Thors in the meta? Kind of funny to see.
I kind of, in a way, I like it. This is along the same lines that I was talking about. Sometimes you don't look at your Thor and they get instantly like one-shotted by 20 Roaches, but I mean that's that's just more about paying attention to your army.
I guess, yeah. Big thank you to Crank, just hosted the stream.
Oh, cool. I would honestly like to see the tanks in the medevacs and him being able to see where the Roaches are, but I guess Thor drops kind of.
I mean, Thor drops got damage, that's for certain. Unfortunately, the Roaches do too. They bust right through that depot wall. Down the mineral line, True not pulling the SCVs at all, just gonna bleed them out. There we go. As far as cleaning this up goes, Thor's gonna body block, but as you see, oh boy, gotta be careful with those shots. Gonna try and tear through the top depot as well, also gonna go down, but this is a pretty big dedication out of True. The big question is, was this worth it for him? He kills... It's like cosmetic damage, you know? Not a lot of workers got wrecked in this attack. A tank and some depots went down, but as long as both those Thors live out of this, I think it's perfectly fine. Good micro, good control at the top.
I feel like at that point, it's less about killing the economy and starting to get the army down. Because as long as there's a big enough army, like good enough splash, then remaking 20 SCVs from 4 command centers isn't really that big of a deal. But if you had gotten all the tanks and then followed up with a pretty powerful Roach Hydra push, well, then that's a lot scarier. But he did give away his roaches, so he needs to replenish those. He's got 2-2 on the way, so again, he might be waiting for those upgrades, even though he has the Vipers right now. That 4th, it's seen. He knew that it was, existed, and he sees it trying to land now, too. That might be his next pressure point. His army's moving over there.
Yeah, I guess it is. Let's not forget, too, it's Legacy of the Void, and you're going to be mining out much quicker. Mains are pretty much gone at this point for both players. And this 4th is not just like a desire, but a necessity at this point. Hydra's coming in here, might actually get the kill on the command center. That could suck, but at the same time, might risk giving away the entire army. Now, I'm not sure if True's going to bait the army back home, or if Pop's just going to keep pushing. Looks like he will turn around. 5 medevacs full of tanks should be able to respond to this. Command center sadly will die by the looks of it. But the cost of one command center unupgraded for what is potentially all the Hydralisks, if he gets those Hydras, I'd say is absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I think so. And he could definitely get all of the army. Like, the tank drops on the follow are just so good.
Yeah, it's Hydra's getting some shots off on the medevacs. Got to drop one of the tanks. We'll lose a tank. But meanwhile, another big attack catches him off guard. The entire army was in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why they all went up to the high ground over there. So tanks in a bit of an odd spot. Mutalisks coming in. Blinded Cloud's looking for spots to go down. Hellbats are going to be able to hold strong, but these tanks are getting abducted into the worst spots. Getting them up to the high ground, no less. Jesus.
I didn't even see them up there. But in the end, Top seems to be able to hold. He saves most of his workers. Now, again, the 4th going down. I don't know if it was actually worth it in the end. He got most of the army that took it down, but True just seems to have enough of a bank to remax pretty well.
Yeah, he's been
and
expanding.
Top really... Well, he expanded twice. Yeah, he does a 5th.
Well, we do finally have a counterattack potentially underway. The big thing about the tanks isn't that they're hard to kill, it's just that the mobility is something you've never had to deal with before. They'll be able to pick them up off our lines. Yeah, that's true. The buffer goes away pretty quickly with those Hellbats dying. Now he's got to pick, do I save the tanks or do I save the Thors? Looks like it's going to be the tanks for now. Roaches do get cleaned up for the most part. Bottom left's got a small attack here with Hellions. Fries up those Hydras real nice.
Don't blinding Fudges.
Yo, piercing bombs in the medevacs might not be too bad either. I like the Ducks he was doing before though.
Yeah, any choice really. I mean, the Viper is becoming this really just great units, and you start to understand why more and more people are getting like 6 or 7 of them instead of just 3. Like every single spell works out well against Protoss
and Ducks work too. That's gonna be most of the Top's army. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yo, I was gonna say, well, that's a lot of tanks committed reinforced. I was gonna say for True, like he's kind of in that Heart of the Swarm mode right now, right? Like you don't see him using Parasitic Bomb. He's going for just abducts with the massive Roach Hydra army, and it's working pretty well for him. I'm not gonna criticize it, but I would have loved to have seen a couple of lurkers in the mix. I think it would have just really given the edge for some of these fights. Either way, though, he will finally lock this down 14 minutes later, and game number 1 will go to True.